Hello, welcome to Loremaster's Lair. I'm the Laughing Salesman, here today for what I believe to be the first monthly market of the year. However, we have an interesting addition today, for we are not just looking at items, but the history of one legendary master who tried to rule the Hold of Belkzen and take in touch on much of the surrounding area. Here he is, the Vlad Pillar of Galarian himself, Kazavon the Blue Dragon. But first, let's do a little who's who. It was a few centuries after the rule of the Whispering Tyrant. Ustalav was working on being free. However, they were still struggling, and it did not really help that orcs were right next door. Even for all the precautions, orcs continued to raid the edges of the principalities, especially around Tamrivanna. When a weaker count knew his limits ascended the throne, he knew he was not going to be able to hold back the raiding. So he prayed to every god out there for help. And Zon Kuthon answered. He sent one of his loyal subjects, the mercenary Kazavon, to fight and conquer the Hold of Belkzen, which he succeeded. However, with his success, Ustalav faced a new nightmare. Instead of returning to Ustalav a hero, the mercenary built the skull wall around the region's star tower. When diplomats came to congratulate him on his victory, he had them flayed, the corpses returned to Lastwall, with orders to surrender their land to him. The Count who sent him organized an army, but they were quickly dealt with and impaled alive. For over a decade, the warlord killed and tortured whoever he pleased, whether Orc or Shanti or Lastwall Crusader. Any army who tried to stand against him was impaled. Any rebellion was quickly snuffed out when they took the secret Kazavon was actually a dragon to the grave. He worked to unite the orcs under his rule so that he could spread his terror. Soon the entirety of Alston was going to be in danger. However, his reign did not last forever. Groups of heroes and mercenaries, and all friends from the historic Order of the Palatine Eye, came together, led by the Crusader Mandevius, wielder of Iomade Blessed Blade Sereth Tiel. I'm not going to have any luck with names today, am I? Anyway, at great cost, they managed to fight and kill the dragon. However, the cursed body did not fade. They applied acid, stripping off all skin, but the bones continued to try to rejoin. Therefore, the group divided the bones into 7 pieces, with the heroes going to the edges of the earth to ensure that tyrant remained dead. Despite all their efforts, however, each of the relics has fallen into the wrong hands over the years. While the pieces have not been rejoined, each has been reforged into a dreaded artifact. The artifacts being why you are truly here this week, and we don't have Loremaster with us. Now, with the introductions out of the way, let us proceed to why you are really here. First is the legendary Armor of Skulls. The skull of Kazavon was taken north by the Prince of Barbarians, Kurog. He took it past his people's traditional homelands until reaching an ancient shrine at the Mountain of Frozen Echoes. He left his ancestors' spirits to guard the vessel. However, centuries later, the entire tribe was slaughtered by ice giants who looted their villages and the mountain tombs. There, the leaders met the skull, which presented itself as an ancient god of battle, and commanded to be freed by the giants. They followed the command, and crafted the bones into a set of armor. The armor of skulls gives its wearer +4 strength, +4 constitution, and +4 electricity resistance. It also has the power to use Kazavon's famed Dragon's Breath, either in a line or in a 30-foot burst. The Dragon's Claws were taken by a paladin of Abadar by the name of Royanda, who kept walking south and never stopped. She was at the southern tip of Gurund. As her 180th year was approaching, she gained prophecy that she only had 1 month to live, and worked to create chains and caskets to hold the claws. She then trapped herself in the claws in a deep cavern in the mountains, never to be found. Or at least, that was the plan. Unfortunately, while Upworlders could not reach them, those from the Darklands could. A choker found the tomb, finding the bones of the saint, as well as the claws, which had been transformed into a blade bound in chains, which the creature took as its own. The bound blade is a +3 unholy adamantine bastard sword, which gives +6 to strength. And when it kills an enemy, the soul is trapped within, slowly being eaten away, creating a 50-foot aurora of desecration until the soul is gone. Number 3, the Fangs. They were taken by a member of the Shanti, Kolja Eyes of Flame. He called together a council of the Shanti Kwans and decided where the best place to keep the cursed relic would be. They decided the best hiding spot was the Grand Mastaba, the remains of an ancient Thessalonian city, which served the people as a holy site. Here the Fangs laid resting for centuries, until something changed overhead. Outsiders came and built a town called Bosa. The Shanti were driven off, but they forever watched from the outside, wary of the relic passed down in the legends. And the fears were answered when the vile Queen Iliosa found the Fangs and crafted them into a crown which to rule the city with an iron fist. The Crown of Fangs grants +6 to Constitution and Charisma. It also gives them Foresight, which grants them a +2 AC and Reflexes against oncoming dangers, as well as Regeneration 20, and the ability to never die, unless struck by the blade Serenth Thiel. Talk about long live the Queen, am I right? The Dragon's Horns were taken by an elven sorcerer from Kyonin. However, on his journey back home, he was ambushed by a green dragon. Alone and still drained, the sorcerer fell, and the dragon took the prize. He spent centuries communing with the bones, trying to make Kazavon's secrets his. He had his horns carved into an instrument to better suit his horde, creating the Howling Horns. The instrument gives a +4 enhancement bonus to dexterity and charisma. To merely blow the horn is strong enough to deafen non-evil creatures, and when performed by an actual bard, the effects increase. And if one is too close, they are effective insanity. The 5th piece, the Ribs. They were taken by a Kedarian scholar and priest of Viori, Gurat. He meditated for months, trying to find a safe place to hide them. However, he realized nowhere was safe. Instead, he went on a planar jump, always trying to stay one step ahead of the minions of Zonk-Ruthon, who were trying to get the relic back. Some say the game of cat and mouse is still going, while others say that it has ended. If the latter is true, then the ribs are currently in the hands of Zon Kuthon himself, in the form of the Shredskin. This bone-made mantle is said to grant the wearer +6 to wisdom and +5 to all resistances. It also allows them to talk to shadows and disappear in shadows to hide. Number 6. The Tail. A wizard called Raiden, who knew a thing or two about cursed artifacts, knew that the dragon spirit might persist, and decided to take Tailbone to study. He returned to his tower in Talden, where he conducted endless experiments. However, one night when he was unprepared, the staff tried to take control of his mind. The wizard decided the best thing to do was to deny the creature a body, and so destroyed his, causing his consciousness to fuse with the bones, now twisted into the form of a staff. The staff of the slain is a +5 spell-slowing shock quarterstaff. It gives +4 to intelligence and allows one to change the energy type of attacks to electricity. Well, as long as they're okay with the dragon trying to take control of the body once per day, that is. And finally, we have the wings. These were taken by expert swordsman Khalid of Rahadom, who attempted to take them back to his homeland. However, his ship sunk and was swept away by a powerful storm. Years later, a smuggler fished a strange sail from the sea and was granted inspiration. The smuggler's luck changed and business was good, to the point he was able to turn his good luck charm into a throne, the Throne of Nalt. However, before the upstart could become a pirate king, various enemies he made in his quick ascension tracked him down and burned down his hideout, his treasure and his throne buried in the ruins of the island of Eel's Skull. The Throne of Nalt gives those who sit in it a +6 charisma and +4 wisdom. It also allows one to control other evils, giving a +6 insight bonus to do so, as well as the ability to cast Chaos. And with that, we have talked about all the items on my card today, individually. But what about when they are used together? Well, combining two items together temporarily combines the parts of Kazavon's spirit with them, increasing their combined intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. With 3 pieces together, enough of the conscience is there to have the spirit fully grasp its situation and work to maneuver itself into where all the pieces can be reunited. And actually speak, of course. Their combined sight, hearing, and eventually dark sight and blind scent increases. And 6 drives is enough to allow the spirit to talk to others telepathically. And when all the relics combined and a proper ritual can take place, then one will be able to resurrect the tyrant Kazavon to this world. And that brings us to the end of the video, and a warning why, even to collectors, some relics are best left to 4 wins. I hope you enjoyed today, as well as this entire month about orcs. Hope you tune in next time, when the Loremaster returns to your regularly scheduled rotation of nations. And I hope my cart will be able to stop by again real soon.